Oh, lads. Augur Battle Seer, 3 blue, red, 5 mana, 3/4 haste, tap, scry 1. I mean, clearly too shit for constructed. I don't really like evaluating cards for limited until the whole set's out, right? Because it's a bit weird. But it's too hard, man. X, blue, green. Create a 0/0 blue and green fractal creature token, put X counters on it. The lessons have been kind of disappointing so far, huh? Karok Shepherd, 4 green, elf druid, 3/3. Whenever you cast or copy and... Yeah. Yup, trash. Alright. Red sorcery. The red cards have been absolute dog shit so far. The actual Boros ones, some of them have been decent though. As an additional cost to cast a spell, exile an instant or sorcery from graveyard. Okay. Deal X damage to each non-dragon creature where X is the mana value of the exiled card. If a creature dealt damage this way would die this turn, exile it instead. So, Storm's Wrath that you can't play on curve. Actually terrible. Impassioned Dust Speaker. Whenever Impassioned Dust Speaker attacks, you may put an instant or sorcery card from graveyard to the bottom of your library. If you do, exile the top 2 cards of your library. Until end of turn, you may play those cards. Okay. Well, I mean, I said I don't like evaluating cards for limited, but that has to be good, right? Surely. Conspiracy Theorist. 1 red, human shaman. When it attacks, you may pay 1 and discard a card. If you do, draw a card. When you discard 1 or more non-land cards, you may exile that card from your graveyard. If you do, you may cast it until the end of this turn. Verschwörungstheoretiker. Guys, this is not a word. This is just a pile of letters. Verschwörungstheoretiker. I mean, is German just the worst designed language in human history? It's up there. Like, this is just unnecessary. This is ridiculous. There is no need for any word to be that long. You can convey a message using words that are shorter than this. There is no reason to have words this long. It actually defeats the point of communication. Yeah. English sentences are shorter than this word, exactly. English is a 3-head language. I don't know, English is pretty good, right? Like, English is easy to learn, easy to understand. It has some basic rules that are easy to follow, no exceptions. You know, like I before E, except after C, and except on some other occasions. It's gas. Basic rules, kick W. Alright, chat. Is there anybody in the chat who is not a native English language speaker, who has went through the process of learning English and has also went through the process of learning German and is not native in either of those things and can compare the difficulty for us? Can we just switch to another language in this chat? Yep, this is now German language chat. All messages from this moment forward for the rest of the stream have to be in German, or you will get timed out. How do you say Ecuador in German? Alright, is this card good, guys? I mean, it's just trash, innit? It's a creature with haste or an enter the battlefield effect. It dies to stomp, it's bad. Academic Dispute, 1 mana red instant. Target creature blocks this turn if able. You may have that creature gain reach until end of turn. Approach of the Dragon, 3 damage to each opponent. Exile. You may exile the Approach of the Dragon and 4 other cards named Approach of the Dragon from your graveyard. If you do, search your library for a dragon creature card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle it. A deck can contain any number of cards called the Approach of the Dragon. Guys, if this costs 2 mana, it might actually be gas. It is Approach of the Second Sons, but with dragons. Alright, so for only 5 copies of Approach of the Dragon and 15 mana, you can deal 15 damage to face, and then you can pull a Goldspan Dragon from your deck to deal 4, put them to 1, make a treasure with the Goldspan Dragon, and shock them for the final 1 damage, and they're just dead. They're just dead. Start over. Deal 1 damage to any target, destroy target artifact. Wow, that sucks. 1 red, 2/2, spirits get +1/+0. Verdant Mastery, 6 mana sorcery rare. You may pay 3 in a green rather than pay this spell's mana cost. Okay, I'll pay 3 in a green then, instead of playing 5 in a green. Search your library for up to 4 basic land cards and reveal them. Put 1 of them onto the battlefield tapped, under an opponent's control, if the 3G cost was paid. Put 2 of them onto the battlefield tapped, under your control, and the rest into your hand. So if you pay 4 mana, you ramp them by 1, you by 2, 1 into your hand. If you pay 6 mana, you put 2 into play and get 2 into hand. Huh? So this card is only good if you're playing 7 mana spells, right? So if you're playing ultimatums or whatever, you can cast this, you get to ramp for 2, and you've also got the 7th land in hand, which is pretty good. It's not worse than Migration Path, because you've got the 7th land in your hand, right? Sometimes you can Migration Path and then you ramp to 6, sure, but you don't have the 7th land. It solves that problem. So you basically give your opponent a land every time to avoid that issue sometimes. It's kind of terrible, huh? 0 playable card set. Guys, it's a historic set. maybe this is why. Right. I've worked it out, chat. I've worked out what the big plan is from Wizards here. So they wanted to lower the power level after Eldraine, right? But you can't just bring out shit sets, because nobody will play the cards, everyone will get bored, and everyone will quit the game. So how do you do both of those things? How do you lower the power level without making people quit? You'll lower the power level in Standard and increase the power level in Historic and let people play Historic until Eldraine leaves. So this is not a Standard set, guys. This is a Historic set and preparation for Standard down the line. So what we just have to accept as a community is that this is a Historic set. We're supposed to play Historic. We're not supposed to play Standard. We're supposed to take these cards for Standard and use them once Eldraine's gone. And until then, we just play with our Mystical Archive. I'm not going to lie, chat, this card's actually good. You're underestimating this card. Alright, next card. Hall of Oracles. Rare brown land. Add 1 mana of any colour for 2. And tap, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. What? Oh, this thing is busted. I mean, I don't know if you'll ever play it over like Haven in these type of decks that want a counter on a creature, but because it kind of has to go in a monocolor deck, right? At least in Standard, you can't play it. I don't think you can play Selesnya counters with this, because it's kind of a lot of lands in your deck that are not green or white, but maybe you can, man. Maybe just like 1, 2 of this in some Selesnya counter deck. It can't be mono white because you can't actually cast instants or sorceries in mono white. Quandrix Campus, yep, overpowered common land, classic. Kelpie Guide. This is the CGB card. 3 mana 2/2 creature. No, it's not. This is not the CGB card. Untap another target permanent you control. Tap target permanent. Activate only if you have 8 or more lands. So this is a 3 mana Llanowar Elf. I mean, it's pretty sick limited card though. Tap target permanent. If an opponent has more cards in hand than you, draw 2 cards. Draw 3 cards if an opponent has at least 4 more cards in hand than you. If they have more cards than you, divination. If they have 4 more cards than you, divination. That is a lesson, yeah. But I was actually quite hyped for the lessons, but best of 1 cards in it. And everybody knows that best of 1's for chumps. Best of 1 is for the people with 1/3 the brain power of the best of 3 players. Just how the world works. This is the CGB card. Frost Trickster. 2 and a blue for a 2/2 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, tap target creature an opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. This is actually kind of a bomb in the old limited. 3 mana 2/2 flyer with a Bergstrider attached is pretty decent. Okay, Ecological Appreciation. A mythic green card. Chat, hold on to your seats. It's about to pop off. Mythic green. This can only be good. X2 tree. Search your library and graveyard for up to 4 creature cards with different names that each have mana value X or less and reveal them. An opponent chooses 2 of those cards. Shuffle the chosen cards into your library and put the rest onto the battlefield. Exile Ecological Appreciation. Search your library and graveyard for 4 creature cards with different names that each have mana value X or less and reveal them. An opponent chooses 2 of those cards. Shuffle the chosen cards into your library and put the rest onto the battlefield. It's a 6 mana sorcery speed Coco. Is that good? I mean, it's targeted Coco at least. 6 mana sorcery speed Coco, where you get 2 of the 4. You get the 3rd and 4th best creature in your deck. You can't even use it in like Sultai Ultimatum or anything because you can't do the X. Green really needed more broken nonsense. What? I've already seen some green players complaining about the card. Spoiled kids. These spoiled green kids wanting to cast some good cards in my Magic. Back in my day, I used to be able to use my counter spell and counter their spell. Now when I counter their spell, they draw 10 cards because they're green players. Spoiled kids. That is a big boomer, yeah. Elemental Masterpiece. Create 2 4/4 tokens. Discard it, make a treasure. Shit. Quandrix Pledge Mage. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery, put a counter on it. Trash. Manifestation Sage. When it enters the battlefield, create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token. Put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of cards in your hand. 4 blue devotion, by the way. Play that mono blue Thassa deck. I mean, one with a 4 devotion card is a serious consideration for that. The problem is this thing costs 4, huh? And you've already got a lot of 4s in that deck, I'm pretty sure. Zimone Quandrix Prodigy. 2 mana 1/2, wizard. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. Draw a card. If you control 8 or more lands, draw 2 cards instead. Best green card to flicker is probably Kogla. Yeah, Kogla's like triple green though, right? This thing sucks, guys. Alright, teach by example. When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new card targets for the copy. Expansion explosion without the explosion. CROKEYZ. Seems kind of bad. Strixhaven Stadium. Alright. Tap, add colorless. Put a point counter on This is it's just a it's a Quidditch card, man. What is with, like, this is just Harry Potter. Honestly, J.K. Rowling could sue Wizards at this point. This is a joke. What other Potter cards are there? I mean, the whole concept of the set, dude. The new set is called Hogwarts. Sorry, Strixhaven, my bad. This is university, not high school? Oh, okay. Nice. Alright. Put a point counter on Strixhaven Stadium. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, remove a point counter from Strixhaven Stadium. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to your opponent, put a point counter on Strixhaven Stadium. Then if it has 10 or more point counters on it, remove them all and that player loses the game. So, what? This is 3 mana, deal 10 damage? Alright, no it's not. You only get 1 point, even if you deal 5 damage, huh? That's a bit sad. Vorinclex card. Yep, guys, the card has the word counter on it, therefore it's a combo with Vorinclex for sure. I mean, this card might actually be really good, guys. So what happens if you have more than 1 in play? Like, if you have 2 in play, does each creature put 2 points on each stadium? Like, put a point counter on Strixhaven Stadium. It kind of implies it means just this one, right? So that's kind of awkward, because that means that there's like, the second copy is just, is like a discarded your draw step, right? I think this thing might be good, guys. Oh, like Clarion Spirit, maybe like Selesnya tokens, Clarion Spirit, Jasper Sentinel, you know. Like if you're playing tokens, if your creatures have 1 power, this thing is 3 mana, deal 10 damage. Straight up. That's 3 mana, deal more than 10 damage, because you'll probably tap it like, say twice, 2 or 3 times. It's like, and you get a counter when you tap it, right? So it's like 13 damage, man. It's crazy. If your creatures are attacking for 1, this puts your opponent down to like 7 life once you cast it. Dragonette Espinagolo. 2 mana 1/1, flying death touch. So it's Baleful Strix without the draw. I mean, it's pretty hard nerf to Baleful Strix there. Reflecting Golem. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets only Reflecting Golem, you may pay 2 to copy it. If you do, you may choose new targets for the copy. Archway Commons. Enters tapped. Sack it unless you pay 1. Add 1 mana of any colour. Okay. Eureka Moment. 4 mana instant. Draw 2 cards. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Don't underestimate it, guys. Scuffed Spiral. But I mean, Spiral's one of the best cards ever. Like, it's not a fair benchmark for a card. This is better than Behold the Multiverse. 2 Growth Spiral is better. Alright, nice, man. Nice, fair comparison. This card is good. This card will be played in Standard. What is there to say, man? This is an expensive Growth Spiral that draws you an extra card. This is better than Behold the Multiverse. This card, if you have Forest and island and you like the idea of drawing cards and ramping, you will play this card. Simple as that. Won't be played in standard, bruv. Yes, it will, man. Are you crazy? You're crazy. It's just like best card draw spell we have, right? Or best 4-mana one? Unless you're playing like the very deck specific ones like Into the Story or whatever. But yeah, I mean, you can only play Into the Story in one deck. This card's really good. You're crazy, that card is trash. Alright, man. I'm going to take a note of your name, and then I'm going to laugh at you in 2 weeks. Hugo255. Hugo255 thought Eureka moment was bad. Keck W. Alright, next. Fervent Mastery. 5-mana sorcery. You may pay 2 red rather than pay this spell's mana cost. You may pay 2 red rather than pay this spell's mana cost. If 4 cost was paid, an opponent discards any number of cards, then draws that many cards. Search your library for up to 3 cards, put them into your hand, shuffle, then discard 3 cards at random. Rare, by the way. Leonin Light Scribe. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. So this is Adeliz with no haste, right? 2 mana. That seems pretty good. Clarion Spirit and this. It's hard to play this and Clarion Spirit and instants and sorceries though, right? This card's very good. How do you play it though? No idea. I don't think this card will be good. Well, I mean, the card is good. Whether or not there's a deck or not, so be it. But the card's obviously really powerful, yeah. That is, chat. This is the historic set, man. It's the historic set and you gotta accept this. This is a historic card. Aether Helix, 5-mana sorcery, return target permanent to its owner's hand. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. 5-mana Petty Theft, draw a card. Nice. Cogwork Archivist, 6-mana 4/5 reach. 2 tap, put target card from graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. What would you rate Fervent Mastery? I mean, it's an embarrassment to the game, isn't it? It's the type of card that should never be printed. It's a waste of cardboard. It's a waste of digital data. It's literally a contribution to global warming by cutting down trees to print this card, and it's bringing nothing to the world. It's nothing other than just it's bad for the environment. It is what it is. It's actually a fucking waste of trees. Ecuador! Ecuador!